and a huge welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today. Now, if you've ever stared down a complex equation on a chalkboard and felt just a little bit overwhelmed, or maybe you've wondered how the invisible forces of logic actually shape everything around us, well, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're going to look at mathematics not just as some dry school subject, but as a deeply dynamic universal toolkit. It is literally the fundamental language that decodes our reality.
Okay, let's dive into this and look at our roadmap. We're going to start with what is mathematics, move into the daily uses of math, explore why is math important, share some truly fascinating math facts, and then wrap it all up with the power of math. Section 1. What is mathematics? The science of numbers, patterns, and logic. To really understand the universe, we have to look at the building blocks. Mathematics is the science of numbers, patterns, shapes, measurements, and logical thinking. It's the ultimate toolkit that helps us solve problems, make decisions, and actually understand the world around us. And it is a massive field. Mathematics includes arithmetic, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, statistics, and honestly, so many other branches. It's an entire system of thought designed to bring order to chaos. Let's strip it right back to the basics and get comfortable with the simple tools that form the foundation of all math. It starts with numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, and so on. Then you've got your basic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And of course, shapes like circles, squares, and triangles. Don't let their simplicity fool you, though. These are the fundamental gears that make the entire universe work. And this brilliantly illustrates how we can take those basic numbers and operations and step right into something like simple algebra. X plus 5 equals 10. This is where logical thinking really kicks into high gear. We're taking the information we already have to discover the information we don't. It's basically like solving a giant puzzle, and it's the very first step toward making complex decisions. Moving on to Section 2, Daily Uses of Math. Mathematics in our everyday lives. Let's shift gears and look at how this maps to your reality, because math is actively solving our everyday problems. Hitting the grocery store, you're calculating prices and figuring out discounts. In the kitchen cooking dinner, you're precisely measuring ingredients to make sure that recipe actually works. In banking, saving and spending money is pure math. And when you're driving, calculating your speed and distance is 100% a mathematical action. And it really doesn't stop there. Playing or watching sports, you're keeping scores. At school, obviously, solving homework. In construction, measuring buildings takes exact arithmetic and geometry. The mobile phones and computers we use constantly, they rely entirely on mathematical operations. Even just managing your time throughout the day or checking the weather forecast, these are all entirely mathematical actions structuring how we live. Now, what's really interesting is that absolutely every single profession uses mathematics. We're talking engineers and doctors, pilots and architects, teachers and shopkeepers, programmers and scientists, and yes, even artists rely on math every day. Whether it's mapping out software algorithms, balancing a cash register, or using geometry to get artistic proportions just right, math is universally applied. No matter what you do, you are using math. Section 3. Why is math important? Building the modern world. Here is a massive reality check. Without mathematics, modern technology simply would not exist. Zero, zilch. Math is exactly what helps build the roads we drive on, the bridges, hospitals, classrooms, airplanes, rockets, mobile apps, computers, and even artificial intelligence. It is the absolute framework that allows humanity to scale our wildest ideas into reality. So, the crucial point is that math is the hidden infrastructure driving all global innovation. It is the core engine behind problem solving, logical thinking, accuracy, innovation, technology, and science. It is without a doubt the ultimate tool for pushing human progress forward. Section 4. Fascinating math facts. Mind-blowing realities of mathematics. Okay, let's start with this single solitary digit, 0. Now, it might literally look like nothing, but the number 0 is actually one of humanity's greatest inventions. Before the concept of 0 was fully developed, complex mathematics, and therefore complex engineering and science, was incredibly difficult, if not flat out impossible. It completely revolutionized human history. Mathematics is the language of science. If you want to understand physics, chemistry, biology, or astronomy, you have to speak that language.
It is exactly how we decode the fundamental rules of the universe, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. Think about how math bridges two completely different worlds. On one hand, every single computer works using mathematics. It's all binary code and algorithms. But on the flip side, nature itself is completely full of mathematical patterns, like the symmetry of a snowflake or the spiral of a seashell. Math just beautifully bridges the gap between our modern digital tools and the organic natural environment around us. Section 5. The Power of Math. Conclusion and Call to Action.
Let's move to our final thoughts and see how this all builds together. If there is one thing you take away from this explainer, let it be this. Mathematics is not just some isolated school subject. It is an undeniable part of everyday life. The more you learn math, the better equipped you become at solving real-world problems. Whether you're budgeting your groceries, building a house, or writing code, math is right there to help you succeed. So, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. How will you use math to solve your next real-world problem? The tools are entirely in your hands. Keep practicing, stay incredibly curious, and enjoy learning in your everyday lives. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you next time.